Number one, if you are in combat with something that you fought before and you just don't want to fight it, or you're not set up to fight it, you can just speak to the enemy and get out of the fight. So I currently have this guy in my party. They don't need to be in your party. They could be in your stock. But if you just go ahead and talk to the character, it will immediately end the combat. What is important, even if it's this character and let's say they have 2 slimes with them or whatever, any combination, as long as you talk to the one that you have currently in your stalker party, it'll automatically end the entire encounter, not just for the ones that you have got before, but for everybody. Let's go here. You started talking to the demon. Oh, is that my friend I see with you? Do treat him well if you would. That's it. They just peace out. So kind of a fun way to just avoid encounter. Number 2, don't get obsessed with trying to exploit enemies' weaknesses every single attack. This is a Persona-like combat, but if you're coming from Persona, you're going to automatically think about trying to knock down foes, exploiting a different character's weakness to get them knocked down and doing all-out attacks, things like that. This game is a more flexible combat system in general. You can see up here, we've got the 4 blue pips, right? So you really only need to, you basically only need to inflict a weakness on an enemy every other attack, or half of your attacks, right? Assuming that you have 4 pips. But like, you could either do 2 in a row where you do weaknesses and then 2 non-weakness attacks, or you could do a weakness, not a weakness, a weakness, not a weakness, again, something like that. So you kind of, that way you don't need to just do weakness attacks. You can also filter in other powerful abilities that you might want to do. So let's go ahead and do Agi here. So we're gonna smack this guy, right? So we did a weak attack, and now we have our glowing blue boy up there, right? So the game is smart. If I do a attack like, I don't have it on me, right? But if I'd exposed his weakness again, it would light up a second blue boy. But if you just want to do something powerful, let's say you really need to lower their attack, for example, I'm just going to deal damage with a more powerful attack, that, you know, an attack that I'd say more powerful, but they're not weak to. You hit that, it'll only consume the glowed up dot. So now as long as you inflict weakness again on this turn, you're not actually missing anything. Number 3, make sure you're checking all demons for their abilities. Some demons have unique abilities that are only obtainable on them, which is another reason why I wanted to fight these guys. This character has Entangling Tendrils. I think this is one of the most powerful early game abilities, because not only does it hit multiple targets, it has a chance to seal them, which is a very powerful status element. The issue is, if it was just AoE seal, it would probably be not that good, because sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. You don't like spending turns doing nothing. So if you're flipping a coin and it's like 50% it's great, 50% of the time I literally did nothing, that's pretty bad. But it's 50% of the time it's something great, and 100% of the time it's gonna lower their attack by 1 rank for 3 turns, right? So this is like a really powerful ability, and there's a lot of characters that have things like this. So let's go ahead and like see, and only he can learn it. No one else can learn this exact ability. Now he did miss one of them, all right? So he didn't make a great showing of it, but let's take a quick look here. Oh, this is actually another perfect character. So let's take a look at Angel. Angel's another character with a unique ability, and not all these abilities are insane, and they'll not all scale into the late game, but in the early game right now, some of them will scale. Some of them will continue to be very good for a long time if you take that character with you. But even something like this, super simple. Slight HP recovery to all allies. This is the very first AoE heal that you can get in the game, and it is very, very useful at the stage that you get it, especially during boss fights. So make sure you are checking demons, and I'll even show you. So make sure when you're checking out demons you might want to fuse, you're looking at their skills. First of all, you'll see a little unique icon in the bottom left. That means that only this character can learn it. But also very important to check, not just exactly like, they don't always know it right when you get them. So if you come here and you go to the original version of this character, you can see, you're like, oh, he doesn't have unique. But if you go to the skills he'll learn, you'll see that at level 10, it's around, you know, I know it's level 10 because I've leveled him up twice, but you'll see that the second skill he'll learn will actually be his unique ability. So just check out those, because when you find them, they tend to be very, very powerful. Maybe they're not all going to scale into the late game, but for the time you get them, if you're, you know, they're around the level you are, they're going to be absurdly powerful abilities comparatively to what's in the area. Tip number 4, always make sure you have spy glasses on you for this exact situation and for bosses. But you see this enemy here? This is an enemy that's going to give you leveling up materials. They're ones that give you, there's different versions, they give you different things, but this is basically a metal slime, a whatever equivalent in whatever game. And in Persona 5, I think it was like the Diamond Regent guys, right? So this is a character that has very low HP, but he's immune to all forms of damage for the most part, besides one weakness, and it's shuffled randomly every time you find it. So you want to always make sure that you just have spy glasses on you. You could buy these from the shop. They're very cheap. You want to have more than one. Just try to get like 5 or something. That way you'll have one if you're out in the field. If you have one, you might need, you know, you might run out, because the second you run into one, you might want to use it again. Very good for things like bosses. Instantly discover all their weaknesses. It's, you know, it's a little cheesy, but you spyglass a boss turn 1, you screenshot their weaknesses, you reload the game. That's a very viable strategy, so you're not playing the guessing game and you're not spending an action doing this kind of thing. But it's very important specifically for these, because they shuffle their stuff every single time, so no matter what, you can't memorize it. So we're gonna spyglass him, see what he's weak to. We're hoping it is not light. I'm kidding. We're hoping that it is light. Let's take a look here. So there are certain attacks that can pierce through their stuff, like almighty attacks can, but they actually have enough HP where that doesn't even really matter. You don't really get through it with that. So they're weak to light. Luckily, I have Angel here. Angel will wipe them out in one shot. There we go. We get a bunch of experience. Not a ton of experience, but we do get some grimoires, which are basically rare candies for your demons. So always very nice to have. Keep those spy glasses. And finally, number 5, I'm going to recommend you get Aeros ASAP. You have to get to level 12, which is not that hard. I mean, I haven't even made it to Tokyo Tower yet. I've just kind of walked a little bit, done a couple of the side quests, boom, level 12, right? So why do I recommend this character? One, I'll tell you kind of how to fuse them, but this is the first element character that you can get access to that I'm aware of. If there's another element character, I didn't find it. So element is important because once you get 10 mini-men or whatever, you know, you get 10 of the little red dudes sitting around, you are going to get the you're going to get the ultimate, you know, like the limit break, the Omega Toki. You're going to get the Omega Toki for element characters. So it's very easy to find 10 of these guys. I'm not going to make a guide to find all 10 of them. You kind of walk around, you'll find 10, 12, 13 within the first couple hours of playing. Pretty much no problem. I found them well before I hit level 12, so you'll probably find them. But once you get this character, you unlock that, you get the 10 mini-men, you get the luck thing here. That means you can now use your ultimate to instead give you tons of experience and Maka. It greatly boosts them if you win the battle that turn. This is perfect when you're fighting those like little teardrop guys that you have to find the weaknesses for. It's perfect for boss fights. If you get them really down to a sliver of health and you have this up, you could just instantly overcharge and farm that boss. So very, very powerful ability. That is the main reason you should get this element guy really quick. The second reason I think you should get him is he does have a very powerful force enhancer ability. All other characters that don't have +3 to their force skill potency will get bumped up to +3 as long as he's in your active party. So everyone's going to be good at force. And on top of that, he's the first character, or roughly he's in the first round of characters that's going to get an AoE attack, and it's an AoE force attack. So it's powerful. He makes everyone else more powerful in those regards, but most importantly, he's for farming. Now, the way to get the element is you could always use the reverse compendium, right? You could just do the demon fusion reverse demon, but the easiest way to do it here, let's do the dryad fusion, is you just want to fuse. I know I don't have enough money. It's okay. Just let me show people what's up. It wants me to show you with what I have. let's just do the reverse compendium, right? You have to fuse two things that are the same family. This is a Yoma family. This is a Yoma family. These are both pretty easily obtainable. So you just fuse the earliest two I found that share a family are the Mandrake and the Agatheon. So get an Agatheon, get a Mandrake. Once you hit level 12, fuse them together into an Aeros, and you're set up to just farm content and basically just try to level up. The leveling is so important in this game because it chooses which demons you can get, gives you access to new skills. Even if you don't keep the higher level demons because you don't like their passives or whatever as much for some reason, you can still fuse them into weaker demons and transfer their skills, or their lower level demons and transfer their skills. What's really important is that you get the skills. The skills are just straight up better inherently on the higher level demons because they're usually, they just go from weak to medium to heavy damage, as the game goes on. So that is tip number 5. Hopefully these tips were helpful to you. If they weren't, I apologize. Some of them are kind of new friendly, but I've been playing the game for a couple hours, and I know that a lot of people that haven't played this game before are likely going to be jumping into it. So I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of some context of a couple fun little tips and tricks. Also, finally, I want to thank my members and my supporters. Boom! Thank you so much for supporting the Plat. It means a lot. I really, really appreciate it. Those of you that stick around and keep supporting the Plat, even when, content is slow and not really stuff you're interested in. It's really cool. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!